Everybody, I have 6 o'clock on my handy dandy clock up here, so we're going to get started. I'm going to call this meeting to order. This is the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting of August 5th, 2026. Can we have a roll call, please?
Dokun, Holderness,
Here.
Friedhoff, Ahrens,
Here.
Moniza,
Here.
Wenman,
Here.
Sitzman.
Here. The next item is approval of the August 5th agenda for this evening. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda tonight?
So moved, Wenman.
Second, Ahrens.
This is all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, moving on. The next agenda item is approval of the July 1st, 2026 minutes. Anybody have any corrections for the minutes? Okay, do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved, Ahrens.
Second, Moniza.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, moving on. Agenda item number 5. This is a public hearing. This is a request by IRL Parkview Investments LLC to consider recommending approval of a PUD-B Site Plan and final plat for IRL Parkview Lot 4. The way we're going to do this is we'll open the public hearing, which I will tap that in, and then we'll ask staff to give the staff report. The board will have a chance for questions of staff, then we'll invite the applicant, then we'll invite any public, and then we will conclude the public hearing before starting a motion and discussion. We'll do that for every agenda item that has a public hearing. So I'll try to invite folks up at each part here, but we're going to let staff take this one away.
Thank you. The property is currently zoned RPUD 1, Residential Plan Unit Development 1 District. I provided the approved master development plan for the Commission's reference. Lot 4 will contain the 4th building in the Parkview Residential Campus in the Iowa River Landing. This building is designed to be in keeping with the approved master building designs for the campus. This 51-unit building is 4 stories with 39 interior parking stalls on the first floor. This building will be predominantly red brick and engineered siding and will have an angled roof to mirror building number 1 in the Parkview subdivision. 11 additional off-street parking stalls are provided in the front of the building, and an additional 27 stalls are provided east of the building. It's this building here in the rendering. And 78 total parking stalls are provided in this plan. This is consistent with the approved parking ratio of 1.5 stalls per unit for the overall development. Staff has reviewed the proposed site plan and finds it conforms with the Parkview Master Development Site and Building Design Standards. Staff has also reviewed the final plat and finds it conforms with the requirements for preparation and filing. That's all I have.
Thank you. Any questions for staff from the commission?
Dave, was the additional parking needed for just building 4, or was that for the whole addition down there?
It balances out everything for the development.
Okay, I think we can invite the applicant for this case if you'd like to make a few comments.
Excuse me. Howdy, my name is James Kincaid. I'm the civil engineer that prepared at least civil drawings in front of you in conjunction with the architect and the developer. Dave did a great job as always. This is the 4th building that's getting out there. I think importantly to note is that this building does balance out all the parking needs of all 4 that are out there. We're following last month's PUD-A amendment, so kind of caps off all the buildings that are out there and does a nice job of making a clean way forward for any future things out there. But besides that, I'm available for any questions from any of y'all.
Any questions for the applicant while he's up?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We'll invite the public. Anybody from the public wishing to make comment, please approach the podium. I think we asked for, what did we ask for? Identifying name and address?
And if we could also ask that people who speak this evening sign in.
And sign in.
That will help
Okay.
us greatly with preparing
Is
the
the sign
minutes
in
from
at the
meeting.
podium there,
Yep.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yep.
So if you do come up to the podium tonight, sign in and introduce yourself. Anybody from the public on this agenda item? Seeing none, I'm going to go ahead and close that public hearing. And and ask the commission if they would like to make a motion to recommend approval of the PUD-B Site Plan.
So moved. Holderness.
Second, Moniza.
Any discussion from the commission? No? Roll call, please.
Aaron's,
Aye.
Moniza,
Aye.
Wenman,
Aye.
Holderness,
Aye.
Friedhoff,
Aye.
Sitzman.
Aye, motion carried. Do I have a motion to consider approval of the final plat for this item?
So moved. Friedhoff. Seconded, Aaron's.
Any discussion on the plat? Roll call, please.
Moniza,
Aye.
Wenman,
Aye.
Holderness,
Aye.
Friedhoff,
Aye.
Aaron's,
Aye.
Sitzman.
Aye, motion carried. Moving on to agenda item number 6. This is also a public hearing. This is a request by Hodge Construction to consider recommending approval of a PUD-B site plan application to rezone Lot 12, Coral Ridge Commerce Park Phase 10, Part 2, from C-2 Arterial Commercial District to CPUD-2 Commercial Planned Unit Development 2 District. Again, I'm going to open the public hearing on this one, and we'll have staff report from Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Chairperson Sitzman. This property is 2.46 acres, and I'm just navigating towards it. And is currently designated as arterial commercial in the Coralville Community Plan. Corridor commercial areas are intended to support general commercial service uses. 2 buildings are proposed on this lot. Building A is located on the north side of the plan, and that will be 9,620 square feet. That's this building here. And Building B is in the southeast corner of the plan and will be 11,110 square feet. This will be a multi-tenant building. There's 137 parking stalls proposed, and this building, both buildings are predominantly masonry and glass. Some pictures of Building A, and here's a picture of Building B. Staff has reviewed the request and finds the requested zoning is consistent with the Coralville Community Plan arterial commercial designation. Staff also finds the proposed site plan and building design meets the design requirements set forth in the zoning code. That's all I have. Thank you.
Any questions for staff from the commission? No? Okay. Do I have a motion to consider, to recommend approval of the rezoning?
So moved, Wenman.
Second, Moniza.
Sorry. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Wenman,
Aye.
Holderness,
Aye.
Friedhoff,
Aye.
Aaron's,
Aye.
Moniza,
Aye.
Sitzman.
Aye. Motion carried. Moving on to the approval of the PUD-B site plan. Do I have a motion for that?
So moved. Holderness.
Second, Friedhoff.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Holderness,
Aye.
Friedhoff,
Aye.
Aaron's,
Aye.
Moniza,
Aye.
Wenman,
Aye.
Sitzman.
Aye. Motion carried. Moving on to agenda item number 7. This is also a public hearing. This is a request by Morrison Weighing Systems, Inc., and it is to consider recommending approval of a PUD-B site plan for Lot 24 of Oakdale Research Park Phase 2. I'm going to open the public hearing on that. I'm sorry, I don't think I closed the public hearing on the last one. My apologies, everyone. We'll open the public hearing again for item number 7, and we'll invite staff to make the staff report.
Thank you very much. Morrison Weighing Systems is a custom design and manufacturer of in-motion weighing systems and controls. They build scales and weighing indicators with custom software to complete multifunction automated weighing. The property is located in the Oakdale Research Park. The University of Iowa Research Park Corporation recently underwent an update to the Research Park Master Development Plan and Guidelines. And the University of Iowa Research Park Corporation supports the proposed use and site building design. A letter has been provided to the Commission from the UI Research Park Corporation dated today. It's been distributed to each one of you prior to the meeting, but in essence noting it supports the use and it aligns with the PUD zoning as well as the goals of the University of Iowa Research Park. This property is 4.48 acres and zoned I PUD-1 Industrial Planned Unit Development 1 District. The applicant is requesting to construct a 5,300 square foot addition on the south side of the existing building. The addition will be predominantly masonry and glass. The color and dimensions, let me just scroll down to the building designs here. This here is the addition. This here is the addition. This is the addition. And this here is the addition in the elevations. The color and dimension of masonry and glass is designed to mirror that of the existing building, so that will match. And enclosed elevations have been provided to the commission as well. The addition will be 52 feet from the east property line. So here's that 52-foot mark. Here's their property line. And will be 269 feet from the south property line. The site will be brought up to current design standards. The sidewalk along the north property line will be installed and connected. A walkway connecting the business to the sidewalk will be installed. 103 new trees are being introduced primarily along the east and south property lines to enhance screening and aesthetic. Parking lot trees are being installed, and 436 ground plantings and shrubs are shown in the plan. Staff has reviewed the request and finds the use, building, and site design are consistent with the UI Research Park PUD master plan. That's all I have. Thank you.
Any questions from the Planning Commission for staff?
There was no new entrances, the only one was off Oakdale Boulevard, correct?
Correct. There are no new entrances proposed. The entrance will remain in the same location off Oakdale Boulevard.
Mr. Johnson, would you feel comfortable summarizing what the changes to the Research Park Master Plan are, or should I ask that of the applicant?
No, really, the changes to the master plan that occurred three or 4 months ago was to further allow more light manufacturing, assembly, innovation, technology. As a matter of fact, here's the list of permitted uses in the amended master development plan. So it's still focused on research, technology, and engineering activities, commercialization, product development, and innovation operations, corporate technical administrative offices, laboratory pilot scale, light industrial and advanced manufacturing uses, data, digital, and computational services, entrepreneurial startup and small business development, educational training and workforce development activities, campus supporting commercial services, shared infrastructure support facilities and operational services, and other uses consistent with the mission of the research park.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for staff?
Just a quick one, and maybe it will, anticipating some questions that might come up. The zoning is not changing. All we're looking at is the addition, small addition to the building.
Correct. Tonight's discussion and review is not about the use or the zoning. The zoning is not changing. This was already zoned, and it's already been determined that the proposed use meets the allowed uses under the PUD. Tonight's discussion is about site design and a site plan.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll invite the applicant for this case to the podium at this time.
Oh, you're the applicant, okay.
Hello, I'm Win Fedema. I'm the president of Morrison Weighing Systems. With me here tonight is my sister and co-owner, Claire Fedema. For a little bit about Morrison Weighing Systems, we've been a family-owned engineering company since 1963. I started 9 years ago when my grandfather passed away, working with my grandmother, and my sister Claire started with us shortly after that. For a little bit about what we do, we build custom automation equipment, either built around high-speed weighing or camera systems. And essentially when large companies, usually food companies, want to outsource their R&D or have like a new type of automation equipment built, they come to us to engineer it and build it for them. So we're really excited to move into the University of Iowa Research Park. We think there's going to be a lot of opportunities there with hiring, and then also with using University of Iowa testing resources for some of our regulatory stuff. Dave's already talked a little bit about the site plan, but essentially this existing office building has been empty since COVID, so a good number of years. We're looking to rebreathe some life into the existing office building with renovations, and then build on this additional 5,000 square foot production and testing area. Yeah, it's matching the masonry with the existing building, which should look quite nice. We're going to do some big windows. Fun fact about our current facility is that it was built in 1973, and when it was built, we brought in, well, not we, but somebody brought in indoor plants in big pots, like indoor trees, which originally were small indoor trees, and over the last 50 years have grown to be very large indoor trees. So we did I think it's either 12 or 15 foot tall windows, so we're going to be able to move our indoor trees from our current facility to the new one, and still have them in there, which will be nice. Yeah, so our big challenge now is that we're currently in Milan, Illinois. We've announced our move, so we've stopped hiring in Illinois, and we've lost a couple good people because, understandably, they didn't want to move. So we're running on a bit of a skeleton staff right now, so we're looking to hopefully get going on this as soon as possible so that we can get moved in and start hiring locally in Coralville as soon as possible. We're excited to be a productive member of the community, and we would welcome anybody from the community who's interested in taking a tour either of our current facility or a tour of the new facility if they're interested. And so thank you guys, and I'll open it up for questions.
Any questions for the applicant?
Yeah. What are you manufacturing? Is everything going to be contained within that building site, or will it be storage or materials outside?
It'll all be contained within the site, and we actually don't do any heavy-duty fabrication on site, so we don't do any welding, we don't do any forming, any of that. We outsource that. We do our own software, we do our own electronics boards, and we do our own mechanical design. The sort of heavier-duty stuff will occur in Cedar Rapids, and then will be brought down for final assembly and testing. The vibe of our current facility has been described as similar to a dentist's office, so there's not a ton going on day to day.
A lot of technology and small stuff.
Yeah. Now the final product is big, right? So
Right.
we do over the course of 1 to 6 months, we'll build this big thing, test it, make sure it works, and then send it out. Yeah.
What kind of impact would you expect your new facility to have on the surrounding neighborhood as far as traffic and that sort of thing?
I would say limited. We're not doing a new entrance, and we do need access for trucks, but the truck traffic is extremely limited. I mean, occasionally we need parts to come in, we need a pallet of this or that to come in, we need to be able to unload that, and like I was saying, whenever we finish a big line, which takes a long time, there's every few weeks or a few months loading of a large thing onto a truck. But all of that occurs between, the middle of the day, and it's very limited.
Thank you.
And then also, our customers never visit us, right? We sell, our closest customers are like hours away, so they don't come here. We have, 10 to 20 employees, depending on, we're hoping for going for closer to 20. Right now we're at 10 and struggling. So there's not that many of us, and customers don't visit.
Thank you.
So you don't have daily, large truck traffic that you anticipate it'll be pretty...
I would say no. I would say that, on our busiest weeks ever, you may have, a few trucks a week, but it's not like we're unloading and loading stuff all the time.
It's not an Amazon.
Ron, I would add that much of the new landscaping being proposed is to bring the site up to compliance with current standards, but much of that was focused on the north side to improve the aesthetic from Oakdale Boulevard, as well as you'll notice on the east side, with overstory trees and understory trees, shrubs, bushes, and things like that to not only improve the aesthetic from Oakdale Boulevard, but create a nice screening buffer to the residential neighborhood to the east. It's where most of the landscaping was focused. I would also add that the overhead door that's proposed on this is on the west side of the addition, not the east.
And do you have primarily a day shift? Do you operate around the clock normally, or how do you?
Our regular hours are 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the commission? Nope. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now we're going to invite the public up. So like I said, if you want to come to the podium, sign in and introduce yourself, we'll take your comment.
Thank you. Good evening to the chair and to the other members of the commission. My name is Vince Nelson, and I am speaking on behalf of the residents of the Sturbridge community directly across the street from the new location of the Morrison Wayne Systems, Inc. We support responsible economic development, job creation, and business growth. However, such development must be balanced with protecting the residents who already call this area home and have invested their lives, homes, and savings in this neighborhood. This proposal raises significant concerns regarding traffic, noise, air quality, environmental impacts, safety, lighting, property values, and the overall quality of life of the nearby residents. We are not asking the Commission to oppose development. Rather, we are asking the Commission to ensure that these impacts are thoroughly studied and clearly understood, and that the applicant demonstrates that the adequate safeguards are in place to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the surrounding residential community before any approval is granted. Before moving forward, we respectfully request answers supporting the studies and enforceable commitments addressing the following concerns. You have that document in front of you at this point. And if that raises any questions, we would be happy to address them, or Mr. Morrison from Morrison Wayne Systems.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public?
Madam Chair, I think it would be valuable to have those read into our minutes, these comments, questions that we've been provided.
If you'd like to do that.
I was hoping the submitter would read those.
Would you like to present each item that was in the handout? I know it'll be part of the record because we've all received it, but is there anything you'd like?
We would take questions from any of you if you have questions regarding any of the items.
Okay, thank you.
The group has met together to formulate these questions and to then present them to you for consideration.
All right. Anyone else?
Chair, may I ask a question?
If you'd like to come to the podium.
We were basically never notified
Oh.
about this.
Ma'am,
It was kind of a shock to the Sturbridge.
Can we have your name?
I'm sorry. I'm Pam Nelson. I'm his half.
Okay.
Anyway, we were never notified about the sale of the land and who had purchased it. And not that we object to that at all. It just, as neighbors, it would have been great for us to be notified that this had taken place.
Sure. Cities don't notify property owners of land transactions or the conveyance of property. And in this case, it's my understanding the University of Iowa still actually owns the land. However, Morrison Weighing Systems will be purchasing the building. So the University of Iowa Research Park Corporation still owns the land, and Morrison Weighing Systems is purchasing the building.
But that is not my concern. My concern is that the city of Coralville did not let us know that this had transpired. And it's fine, but it would be nice as neighbors to have been notified of this.
At the beginning.
Sure, but cities do not notify adjacent property owners of property sales. There's hundreds of sales every day in our community.
It's not so much the sale as it is the notification that the land has been sold and we've been notified who has purchased it as homeowners in that area.
could we ask you to go to the microphones when you're making comment? There are people watching this at home that need to be able to hear.
We can take additional comments if you'd like to continue.
Sure. Hi, my name is Bart Hildreth. I'm also in the Sturbridge community. You may have visited the site, but please delay your vote until you can stand on Abbey Court and look at the proposed site from our front door. The firm is an original equipment manufacturer, OEM. Yes, it uses engineering, but that design work is to fabricate metal into moving belt systems. It is industry, not research. That is why it is now located in an industrial park, next to a mobile home park, next to an airport. It's industry, it's not research. Once you come and stand on our doorstep, ask yourself if this plan really meets the standards of a PUD development on a corner next to a residential neighborhood. If you allow me, I want to quote a few of the Coralville zoning rules. Rule 165.33 states that a PUD district is intended to ensure the compatibility of development with the surrounding urban environment that will surpass the quality of the current development. PUDs are to exceed the city's traditional zoning requirements, not to circumvent them, not to make them easier. Moreover, the location of a PUD calls for it to maintain and protect the value of surrounding residential neighborhoods. The formal review criteria for a PUD-B site calls for, among the provisions, the ability to provide for a positive environment for the intended uses, the impact on the surrounding natural and built environment, the architectural quality and compatibility of the proposed project with the scale and appearance of the surrounding area, not just the next building to it. These quoted provisions should lead you to reject the proposal or at least delay it until you could put yourself in our shoes. Would you want this incompatible manufacturing facility next to your house? When you go to sell a house, they're going to ask, what's going on next door? Well, that's a manufacturing facility, even if it's less than the full fabrication that's going on. It's clear that the new owners who moved to this area do not want it in their backyard. They're not in the area. So why should we have to deal with that? Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public like to make comment? Hearing none, I'm going to close the public hearing. That means we will not be taking any more comments at the podium, so thank you for everyone that did share something tonight. Do I have a motion to recommend approval of PUD-B site plan for this agenda item?
So moved, Aaron's.
Second, Moniza.
Discussion by the board.
Dave, do you know, when did the research park come in and how long has it been zoned industrial up there? Approximately.
The research park has been in place for over 30 years,
Yes.
and it's been in zoned industrial since that time.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Holderness.
Aye.
Aaron's.
Aye.
Moniza.
Aye.
Wenman.
Aye.
Sitzman.
Aye.
Friedoff.
Aye.
Motion carried. Moving on to item number 8, this is a request by Coral Ridge 8 LLC to consider recommending approval to amend the preliminary plat for Coral Ridge Commerce Park Part 2, Phase 8 through 12 and 14 through 16. You all are welcome to get up and leave if you'd like to. You won't disrupt anything, I'm sure, as we move on. So this one is not a public hearing, so I'm not going to open that, but we will get staff report on this one.
Thank you, Chairperson Sitzman. The preliminary plat is being amended to move the future public trail location from Lot 12 to be entirely on Lot 14. The amendment also increases the storm sewer drainage easement and trail easement from 30 feet to 36 feet, which is fairly minimal. The storm sewer easement will be 20 feet wide and the trail easement will be 16 feet wide. That's all I have. Lots of all remain the same. We're really just relocating a trail, shifting that to the north a little bit, and widening the easement.
Any questions for staff? Nope. Invite the applicant at this point if you'd like to make comment. No comment? Okay. And since it's not a public hearing, we're not going to invite the public, but if there was anyone here for this item? No. Okay. All right, then. We'll move on to a motion. Do I have a motion for approval of the amended preliminary plat?
So moved. Friedoff.
Second, Holderness.
Any further discussion? No. Roll call, please.
Holderness.
Aye.
Friedoff.
Aye.
Aaron's.
Aye.
Moniza.
Aye.
Wenman.
Aye.
Sitzman.
Aye. Motion carried. Agenda item number 9 is a request by West Village Developers LLC to consider recommending approval to amend the preliminary plat for Coralville West Village. Not a public hearing, so staff.
Thank you. The preliminary plat was previously amended in 2024 to allow for 0 lot development for Phase 1, which is in the northwest corner of the subdivision. This phase is currently under construction. The current requested amendment is for the remainder of the subdivision. Staff has reviewed the preliminary plat and finds it meets the requirements of the PUD-A Master Development Plan. The plat also meets the requirements for preparation and filing. So for reference, this is Part 1. This is Part 2. Part 1 has already been amended. And then this is Part 3. And this is slated for a number of mixed-use buildings as well as multifamily buildings to be developed on one lot. So this just basically brings everything into conformance.
And there is enough stormwater provided for these?
Yes, nothing has changed in terms of development, density, impervious surfaces, and nothing has changed with the stormwater management from the master development plan.
Dave, how many units are proposed in the Part 2, Phase 2?
In which phase?
Well, what we're approving the PUD or the amended plat for tonight.
Boy, I just looked this up today. I think.
I mean, is there any change from what was?
No,
before?
it's the same, and I want to say it's 308 units approximately.
You're asking about Part 2.
The second.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's the same as the current
Okay.
PUD and the multifamily.
Okay.
Yeah, the unit count has not changed.
Okay.
Any other questions for staff? Okay. Does the applicant want to make any comment on this one? Nope. Okay. Can I have a motion then to recommend approval to amend the preliminary plat for Coralville West Village?
So moved. Friedoff.
Seconded, Aaron's.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Holderness.
Aye.
Friedoff.
Aye.
Aaron's.
Aye.
Moniza.
Aye.
Wenman.
Aye.
Sitzman.
Aye. Motion carried. Agenda item number 10 is items for September meeting.
I would anticipate a September meeting. I don't have any specific items known of yet.
Okay, thank you, staff. Then we're on to adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
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 We are adjourned.